I'm not ready.
All right, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic that stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Lethe has invocation.
As we gather today as members of Rotary, we pause in gratitude and reflection. May we remain ever mindful of the opportunities to serve our neighbors, our community, and the greater good. Let us hold fast to the enduring values of life and dedicate our efforts to those causes and commitments upon which future generations may build with hope and confidence. May our actions today help shape a better world tomorrow. Amen.
Amen. We have the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? You can be seated. Oh, yeah, we have a whole host of announcements today. We're going to start with Susie.
Thank you. You all have a sheet on your table about the upcoming secretary vacancy that will be coming up after Andy finishes his second term. So please, if you know someone that would be interested in being the secretary, they get to shadow me for a year so they know what they're getting into and they don't have to feel like they just jumped in. So please nominate somebody or nominate yourself and give these to us, and we'd be happy to meet with you and tell you more about being the secretary. Thank you.
And the secretary does not have to be a member of Rotary, and it's a paid position. So it can be someone that needs like a couple-hour-a-week job. All right, Paul.
I'm sure everybody knows by now that the big event of the year, the Boo Bash, is coming up on Friday from 5 to 9 at the Copper Mill. We trust all of you are planning to be there. And I want to say a big thank you to everybody who's been working so hard to make that possible, providing donations, being sponsors, and so on. However, we are short on information to list items, and we could still use some more. So also, if you have an item to donate, please get me the information. I really would appreciate your filling out a form so that I don't have to make up what it is and how much it's worth and so on. I don't want to be responsible for that. So please help me out. Get that to me as soon as possible this week. I've got a very busy end of the week, so if you can get it to me by today or tomorrow, I would really appreciate it. There's a sign-up sheet going around to, in fact, Dave has it right now. We need people to help work on Friday, a variety of opportunities. You can be there at 9 o'clock at the Copper Mill to help set up. You can help with check-in. We need people to staff the event desk, which is a critical position. They help with check-in, they check out the items and so on. We also need others to help check out people and to clean up afterwards. It's all on the sheet. If you can help out in any way, please do that. It makes for a very successful event. And then I didn't bring up the form, but there are forms on the table. Many of you have been signing up as sponsors to get your tickets. That is critical that you do that. You can do that night, but it's gonna slow everything down. If you register your tickets, you can click right through and don't have to wait to get past the event desk. So if you have not already signed up for your tickets, please do that. There's a sheet on the table for how sponsors can do that on the website. It's very important that you do that, so thank you. Any questions? Help my anxiety level come down. Do what I ask, thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Paul, thank you for all the work that you're putting into this. Paul is definitely working his tail off over here. Oh, and with that, Andy Ferguson.
Thanks. We have a Paul Harris Award to administer. So most of you know the Rotary started with the vision of one man, Paul Harris. After setting up his law practice in Chicago, Harris gathered several business associates to discuss the idea of forming an organization for local professionals. He envisioned a place where professionals of diverse backgrounds could exchange ideas and form meaningful lifelong friendships. On 23rd February 1905, Harris, Gustavus Lair, Sylvester Shield, and Hiram Shorey gathered at Lair's office in room 711 of the Unity Building in downtown Chicago. This was the first ever Rotary Club meeting. I was sure that there must be many other young men who had come from farms and small villages to establish themselves in Chicago. Why not bring them together? If others were longing for fellowship as I was, something would come of it. In February 1907, Harris was elected the third president of the Rotary Club of Chicago, a position he held until the fall of 1908. Toward the end of his club presidency, Harris worked to expand Rotary beyond Chicago. Some club members resisted, not wanting to take on the additional financial burden. But Harris persisted, and by 1910, Rotary had expanded to several other major U.S. cities. Harris died on 27 January 1947 in Chicago at the age of 78 after a prolonged illness. His death promoted an outpouring of contributions from around the world, as his name continues to evoke the passion and support of Rotarians and friends of Rotary. Continuing the legacy of our founder, Paul Harris, the Paul Harris Fellow Program recognizes individuals who contribute or have contributions made in their name of $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International. This honor was established in 1957 to show appreciation to contributions that support our annual fund, Polio Plus, and the Foundation grant. Today, we're going to recognize Norlan Hinke for his contributions. He's at a level 5, Paul Harris level 5, and we wanted to recognize him and give him his pin today. So, Norlan. There you go. All right.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
All right, so we have some students here today from Synergy, and they're going to come up and tell us about a project that they're working on. Right? Never mind. That's not happening? Oh, hey. Well, with that, Jennifer Graff.
Good afternoon, welcome fellow friendly Rotarians. Today we have some guests. Wayne Steen is being by whom?
Wayne is our associate governor who covers our club. And so
He's going to be speaking.
I am. No, he's just visiting today.
Okay, well, let's just go ahead and welcome him.
He's just our guest.
Welcome, Wayne.
But if he wants to take my place, that's fine.
Wait, that was the biggest I've ever seen your eyes.
Yeah.
We like to shake things up here. Okay, and Norlan, you have a guest?
I do. My wife Cindy, who's known throughout the district as God because she's governor's official driver. So
Oh, my.
she gets me all over the place. And she did all the scheduling for us.
Thank you and welcome. And Cindy, thank you for our little tag that we all got at our table too. Unite for Good, thank you. And student guests, Amy?
For Prince Peace, I have Marissa Boyd and Claire Navy.
Welcome. And Julie?
I have good high students. I have Carter Dunham, JV Endearing, Avery Baylog, and I have Reed.
Welcome. Thank you for coming. Let's see, we have some birthdays. Where'd they go? They're hiding. Birthdays are hiding.
Nobody had a birthday. They're underneath the thing that you're covering.
Oh, yes, here they are. Andy Green's birthday is October 26th, and I need to let everybody know, do not forget his birthday. It is very traumatizing for Andy that his birthday has been forgotten before by his mother. So please, as good, faithful Rotarians, remember his birthday on the 26th. We also have anniversaries. Val Hill, 22 years. She's not here, but thank you, Val. And Julianne Bray, 22 years. Thank you, Julie. Today we're going to do a trivia, and we're going to do the hard, medium, easy thing. We're going to start out with 10 bucks. Everybody's going to owe 10 bucks unless you get these questions right, or you're able to meet the objective at the end of it. So we'll start with you, Gary. Which one do you guys want?
Is there a subject?
No, I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Medium.
Medium. We're going to go with a medium. Okay, it's all to do with pumpkins. Okay. Where is the pumpkin capital of the world? That's too easy. You're right. You're right. Morton, Illinois, capital. So you can take off $3 from the 10, and it's going to keep going down as the questions go. Derek, we'll go with your table.
We're going with medium.
Medium? Okay. What substance gives pumpkins their signature yellow color? I think it's orange, but they want to say yellow. What substance gives pumpkins their signature color? Signature.
Sunshine.
That's a really good guess, but it's wrong. Beta carotene. Beta. Heather, your table. Medium. You guys are kind of, okay. What percentage of a pumpkin is water within 5%?
77.
That's another $5 for Brady. Yeah. Kidding. Within 5%.
65%.
That's a really good guess, but it's really wrong. It's 94%. Basically. Tom, your table. Tom Detterman, your table. Medium? Okay. Pumpkins are brimming with what essential nutrient? Brimming, overflowing, that's a whole bunch. Lots of letters you can pick from.
We give up.
Okay, then. No, yes, okay. It's vitamin A. Vitamin A. John, you have some brilliant people at your table. What is your choice?
We're gonna go with the heart.
Good guy, thank you so much. Where is the pumpkin capital of the USA?
It is.
Why?
It is. I don't know.
We're gonna go with Warren, Illinois again. I don't think we're gonna do that one right, but it's going to be Florida, Texas. That's why it's hard. You went for it, Phil. Appreciate that. Julie,
Conflicting sources.
Can we talk to the pumpkin council about that?
medium. Pumpkin is not an ingredient in pumpkin spice lattes. True or false?
We'll say true.
You're absolutely right. We've got one table that really are good critical thinkers. Thank you. No, you're gonna reduce yours by $3. Okay, Carrie.
We're gonna go with the heart.
Hard, thank you. What did the Native Americans originally use for their pie shell when making pumpkin pie? This is all subjective. I thought this was hard, but maybe you don't.
Cornmeal?
Cornmeal is wrong, but thank you for the attempt. The pumpkin itself was the shell, and inside was filled with honey, milk, and spices. So, another deduction that you can do is if you are a sponsor of the Boo Bash, you can subtract $2 from your $10 fine. If you have if you are attending, you may deduct $2. So there you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Oh, hey, so it's not very often we get to say the district governor is from our club. Today our speaker is our district governor, and it just so happens to be Norlan Hinke. So Norlan, come up here, and we're looking forward to what you have to say.
Bringing it up or what's it? First of all, thank you. It's good to be back home here. I'm just gonna lay this back because I don't pay attention to it. I just go off the cuff anyway, so. But first of all, your club gets an award because Andy, that is the loudest bell I've ever heard of 61 clubs. And the prayer was fantastic, so thank you for being here. I'll wait for Susie to get brought up there. There's really 4 parts to the program today. We'll kind of go through it as quickly as we can. I want to get to the 4th part. You have a clicker? Somebody have a clicker?
No, we don't.
Ah,
You just
okay.
use the arrows right here to go to the next slide.
Okay. Which one?
So just
There we go. Thank you. I may call you back up here. Okay. So first of all, there's the agenda, the international, the district, the club, and then like to have some discussion on it. I think you all know that Francesco had all of 10 days to become the Rotary International president. Mario was elected in October of 2022 and was Rotary International president-elect until June of 2025. 10 days before the International Convention, he resigned. So the process is, excuse me, they go back to those that interviewed and were not selected. And from that group, Francesco was selected for the Rotary International president this year. Ironically and unfortunately, The gentleman from Japan who was to follow him also had to resign because of cancer and since has died. So
Oh,
that's unfortunate there. And Hinke from Nigeria has been selected to be the 27-28 president, Rotary International president. And if any of you were at the annual conference of Dave Cook, Larry Lunsford from Kansas City, he's actually family from Boone, so he comes back up to Iowa every year. He has been then selected for 28-29. So we'll have some good president-elect coming up. We met Hinke up at the Zone Institute, excuse me, up in Minnesota. Really, really sharp gentleman from Nigeria, just really sharp. And anybody who gets that level has to be sharp. The quotes are from the September magazine in Francesco's, and having gotten to know Mario, he was really passionate about making things happen, particularly on membership. Francesco, I hadn't had a chance to meet, but I went to a small group session up in Calgary. And at that time, it was President Stephanie Urchek, Rotary International Foundation Chair Ovar Kanak from Germany, and Francesco were in a small panel. And what I liked about Francesco, he didn't talk about numbers, he didn't talk about dollars. He talked about people, he talked about grassroots clubs and where it happens at the grassroots. So I think we have a good president there. Cindy, you wouldn't want to just move a chair up here, would you?
Why don't you just stand on that side?
I will. Get out of Braden's way here. So the 4 areas in the district are membership. That's everybody's focus. Foundation, you got a great one with Andy. He's got good plans. Public image is really the key point that I'm really focusing on, and I'll talk about that as we get there. And then technology team. So under membership, if you look back, we are down almost 400 members from 2022. That's not unusual. The United States is actually going to lose a director at the international level because the Far East membership is growing significantly and the United States membership is declining gradually. But one thing that I find interesting, Ukraine, since the start of the Russia-Ukraine war, the membership in Rotary has more than doubled over in Ukraine. So that kind of tells you where peace fits into our parameters of Rotary there. So my objective is to grow 1%. You take 1%, let's just round it to 3,000, that's 30. There's 66 clubs, there's our charter clubs, there's 9 extension clubs, branches of that. There are 3 Rotaract clubs, Iowa, Iowa State, and Simpson. We have met with Simpson. Those young people are really sharp. And to just give you an idea of where youth are headed, we had a lot of discussion at the board meeting. And by the way, we had a great board meeting. But Iowa and Iowa State, when they disbanded for the spring semester, they both had around 25 members in their Rotaract club. I just got contact from each of them, and they're both up about 45 now. So they're just about doubled their membership. That kind of tells me that our young people are pretty committed to doing good things. And we're looking forward to those visits. I got a phone call from, I've not met any of those people, but I got a phone call about a month ago from the past president of Iowa State. And you talk about sharp, and that young man is sharp, really good future there. But back to membership. If we can grow 1/2 member on average, the key there is retaining, because Rotary grew in a 2-year period 1.2 million members. Rotary lost in that membership, and Wayne said it, Rotary's got a front door, but we have a back door. In the front door, in a 2-year time period, we gained 1.2 million members. In the back door, we lost over 1.2 million members. So retention by engagement is such a key factor. And Clinton, Andy said you scrubbed your rolls a little bit, so you're down about 7, you're down about 10%. But getting new members engaged is a key point. Thank you. And so as you bring in, and you just brought a new member in, congratulations. Glad to have you in Rotary. And I think you'll find it's a good organization. So looking forward to having you here. But as I ask new members, and maybe I'll just ask you, we have had probably 8, 9 clubs new member has been inducted, excuse me. And so I said, what'd you become a Rotarian for? And in every instance, they said, you know, it's time for me to do something for somebody else. I feel good about doing something for somebody else, and I want to be involved in an organization and fellowship. You want to share with us?
That's pretty much where I'm at, yeah.
Did I answer the question, or are you just copping out on me?
No, actually, that was the possibility I got.
Okay, just kidding you. But there's no reason we can't grow 1% if we can retain. The key is going to be to retain the members we have. We're already down from the beginning of the year because July 1st, everybody scrubs to cut down on the district dues they pay and the international dues they pay. But there's just no reason we can't make that, and it shouldn't be hard to do. And you've got Carrie working on programs on membership, and she's got a team together and some well-defined programs. So I think you got a good outlook here. Extension clubs, I know Clinton tried it, hasn't gone real well. It's a patience and persistence issue. Ankeny chartered a new club 2 years ago. It took them 10 years to get to that point. But every extension club's meeting in the evenings, just like this extension club did. And they're focused on 2 things. They're focused on projects and they're focused on fellowship. And I mentioned to Carrie, one of the kind of the niches there is there's a lot of people working from home now. So they don't work in the group setting, being a banker. They don't get in the bank and see those people, or they don't work in that office center like they used to. So the fellowship is important. But if you look at the generational ideas, baby boomers did it because it was the right thing to do. That was the concept. Millennials now, they have so much time demand. They have so much financial demand, and they're so focused. So they're looking at specifics, and that's where Rotary, I think, has an advantage, because you've got 7 areas of interest that you can develop or focus on. So, you know, if you like the ecology, or you like economic development, or you like literacy, you can pick any of the one you want and devote your time and your talents and your money to that. So I think that's attainable. Foundation, Andy's been doing a really good job of getting it laid out. He's got some plans coming up here for November, and so I'm going to leave that ball game in his pocket there and let him take care of that. But Polio Plus, it's just time to eradicate that. As the district governor, I sit in on a Rotary International monthly Zoom session. 2 months ago, they were over in Pakistan, Afghanistan. For those that are new, that's the only 2 countries that polio is still active in. 2 years ago, there were 25 cases. Last year, it spiked up to 90. Through August of this year, it's down to 20. So they're getting it under control. During the Pakistan-Israeli-Hamas situation, they opened the doors and let Rotarians come in and treat, because there was some breakouts there. But if you think about Pakistan and Afghanistan, those are tough countries to get out to. You look at the topography to take that scooter and get out across that terrain. We've had well over 100 volunteers killed as a result of being out there from groups that don't want good things to happen. But one of the things that Rotary has found out is, like with anything, you have to build a trust, you have to build a relationship. So if you walk in as an outsider and you walk up and you say to Braden, I'm gonna put a drop in your child's mouth, he's gonna say, not happening, because I don't trust you. They think we're gonna kill their kid. So what Rotary has done, they build a network to go in and build a confidence of relationship there. So now when they go in, the mothers and the fathers know they're there to do good. So we're making some progress there, but we need to finish it off. If you remember 2 years ago, John Ockenfels and Peter T. Hahn flew the world, spent all their own money, took their own plane. They had it all set up, COVID hit. They had it all set up. Russia attacked Ukraine. As a result of that, they had to sell their plane. They had to buy a bigger plane. They had to gut it so they could get enough fuel in to make the trip, bypassing Russia. They made the trip. They raised well over $2 million in that process. They're still out there flying around, presenting programs, John and Peter, creating revenue for Polio Plus. They just came back from New Orleans last month with a $5,000 check. That's $15,000. Having said that, when I was up at Calgary, I ran into John and Deb Ockenfels, and John said, hey, stop by the booth. Peter wants to tell you something. So Peter T. Hahn is a semi-retired funeral director from Cedar Rapids. He has linked in with Ed Gulkin. Ed Gulkin is 89 years old. They just they took off August 30th and they landed, I forget the date, October 5th. They set a Guinness Book of World Record because Ed is the oldest pilot to ever fly the Atlantic both ways. And when you see a picture of him, I'm hoping when I'm 89, I'm doing what he's doing. He has, Cindy said he has flown around the world 4 times, Cindy?
Yeah, he circumnavigated the globe, and he got a Guinness World Record at 87 for doing the whole circumnavigating the globe.
So anyway, they put on a second flight, and I asked the district board a couple weeks ago to put $10,000 from our reserve account as a match program to the clubs. So I'm challenging your club and the other 77 clubs to raise as much money as you can. If all those clubs create $10,000 and the district matches it $10,000, that's $20,000. But Polio Plus gets $60,000 because the Gates Foundation is going to put $40,000 to it. I'll take a 6-to-1 leverage anytime I can take it financially. So I asked Andy if he would orchestrate something, and I think he'll probably talk to you in the future. Here's a video. When I was up there, I said, Peter, would you cut me about a 2-minute video? So let's listen to this. I hope you can hear it.
Speak a little bit more about that.
So they took off August 30th. They have landed. They were successful in all. They had a couple of minor issues with the plane, I think, because they postponed, you could see on the flight pattern there, but they've completed it. So again, I just really want to challenge our district to be supportive of that. We have developed a new newsletter, as you know. Bill passed away, and so that newsletter that was put together is past issue. We're coming out now with a monthly online addition to it that'll be more timely, more short, more specific to the point. And in there will be a letter engaging the clubs, asking to do that, and also explaining John Ockenfels for our district is the Polio Plus chair. Excuse me, and so John is to orchestrate so that money comes into and is donated to the flight around the Atlantic, so we get the match and get the 6-to-1 leverage there. So let's just bypass it, Susie.
Okay. I think I might have it, but.
let's just scoot by it and we'll move on. In essence,
Rotary District 6000 and the Rotary District 6000 and the
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
that's okay, okay. So I said public image was my key point. We have been losing membership for a number of years, focusing on number of members per club and dollars they're giving to the foundation. After a certain point, you learn administratively, you gotta try a new concept. And I really think public image is the way that we can focus. By getting the public image out, and you've got Jill O'Neill who works at the district level and with the club, and her and Carrie on membership are ponying up. So we get the message out there. On public image. And share this, but it was a little bit more of a metro area, so their numbers are different. But what they did is they just simply took the alphabet: A, abstractor, attorney; B, banker, whatever it might be, and they just went down the list and they identified potential members. And then Jim said, well, I know that attorney, so I'll give him a call or her a call and just invite them to come. So you don't force it, you just do a south-south. They picked up 50 new members, so it's a concept, but there's other ways. If you look at that wheel, that outside rim encompasses all of those spokes. It's all encompassing of everything there. That's public image. Public image is more than marketing. It's more than social media. It's wearing a shirt. It's everything you can do to promote the name of Rotary out there. The spokes are the programs of Rotary International. Foundation, membership, Iowa Most, RILA, Youth Exchange, Ecotepec. The big hub is Rotary International. That hub supports all those spokes, holding them together, providing the staff, providing the support to make those programs happen. But what drives that wheel? It's nothing more than that little cog down in the middle, which is the Rotary Club of Clinton. Because again, Rotary starts, Rotary finishes at the grassroots level. That's where it's at. So if your club and other clubs can develop a plan identifying potential members, we had Patrick Harrison, who is the Zone 25B 29 Public Image Chair, up in August. He lives down in Texas. The zone goes from down in Mexico up into Canada. Extremely intelligent guy, really super guy. He talked about public promoted and it's the why. It's not the what, it's the why, and getting the message out and the impact of the programs you do, and then identifying who you might want. Technology team. Last year's governor-elect, I wanted to, for example, put on one program in multiple locations, but we couldn't find enough volunteers to make it happen, so we had to have one. So Bill Bruce, who follows me, is coordinating this with me. I've either got 9 or 10 people who stepped up, like when we're done with the program here, and said, yeah, I'd like to be on that team. The concept is some of the clubs, they don't have the technology skills to put a program together where they can show it to their community or their club. The other thing is, I have found, you're the 61st club we have visited, that a number of the clubs had some problems with the community service grant application online. So I've asked Bill, and he's going to designate, we're going to try to get about 15 people. He's going to designate a segment of that team. So if somebody's putting it together and they have a question in that application, they can talk to that person, get some help. And then at the district level, we can spread that workload. We don't have 2 people being asked to do everything. Somebody wants something done, and Braden's on the committee and he's got a court case coming up, he can say, let me refer to you to somebody else. District Administrator Carolyn Scharf retired June 30th. Carolyn held the glue together because if you think of a corporation that has a different CEO every year, every CEO has a different style, they have a different way of doing things, they may even have a little bit different mission. Carolyn held it from year to year for 20 different past district governors. She retired. Megan Van Coten is in Pella. She's young, she's enthusiastic, she's organized, she's got pretty good technology skills, and she is doing a really, really nice job for us. If you have any questions, get with Megan. And on Club Focus, I'm challenging every club, I'm asking every club to plant at least one tree per member. We've been at 2 clubs where I had sent a memo out saying, instead of me standing up talking to you, if we can do a project with you or participate in something, we'd love to do it. So we've actually planted trees in 2 or 3 locations. The Enzo Nageo, I'm not even sure if that's how you pronounce it, but when I was in Iowa City at the club that meets at the Elks Club, a lady came up and said, I'm the Trees Forever, because I had mentioned trying to coordinate a district-wide program with Trees Forever to see, didn't figure I'd get them free, but I figured maybe we could get a discount. Anyway, she came back and talked with me, and this is the gentleman, and she's recommending that if you need something with Trees Forever, instead of me trying to do it at the district-wide, each club do it because she thinks it would be more beneficial and easier to manage that way. And, you know, whether you put those trees in your backyard, whether you do a project up in the park, just do what you want to do. I don't care. Club Focus, a big one is mental wellness. That is becoming an increasingly more and more important issue. We talked a lot about RILA. There's 200 high school students at RILA. The only program that got a standing ovation on Thursday afternoon at the end of the project, at the end of the session, was mental wellness. And everybody said it wasn't the presenter, it was the topic. The students are just looking for some direction, some assistance. When I retired from banking, I became a financial specialist with Iowa State, and then was asked to head up a statewide mental wellness program. So we divided the state into 8 regions. The grant program called for 2,500 brochures. There was 3 brochures, so that's 834 brochures per. We were asked when we hit the communities, we actually passed out 43,353. That was upon request. I would say there were 8 to 10 communities I drove into in Northeast Iowa where they said your timing is good. A couple examples. 16-year-old high school athlete, good ball player, popular with the students, good family, good student, committed suicide, nobody can figure it out. 12-year-old girl, active in her church programs, good in school, has friends, nice family, committed suicide. At that time, the ratio was 1 out of every 17 high school students seriously contemplated their own suicide. So I'm asking you, whether you work with NAMI, or the Extension Service, or the Chamber, or people within, Carrie put together a food program for last year that was phenomenal. Do it again for mental wellness, and just carry something out. Whether you focus on the youth or the senior citizens, you know, you look at senior citizens 2-3 generations ago, grandparents, parents, kids all lived together, got together weekly, every couple weeks, because they all lived right around together. Now they're spread out all over the United States or the world. There's a lot of, excuse me, there's a lot of lonely senior citizens. There's a lot of senior citizens deciding, do I buy my prescriptions or do I pay for my care? And so whatever you choose to do, just please do it. If you're looking for direction, I'd be more than glad to help, but there's a ton of sources out there. And with that, I would like to see as many of you come out to my district conference, not because of me, but I think you would enjoy it. I think we're getting some pretty good speakers lined up. And that just went out of rotation there. Stephanie Urchek is the past Rotary International president. She just traveled the world. She's going to share those stories with us of all those exciting things, all those interesting things she did. And Tom Gump is from Minnesota. Tom's the current Rotary International membership chair, but more importantly, he will represent this district, this club, on the international board July 1st next year. And so Tom can share with us where Rotary is, where Rotary's headed. And I'm still working on an inspirational speaker. And I'll just share with you. I thought I had Lisa Bluter lined up. I talked to Brenda in the women's athletic department 3 times, and she said, you can't talk to us until 6 months before, that's November 1st. I said, Brenda, I'm not trying to bug you, but I'm keeping my name in front of you. Last time she called, she says, well, Norlan, I got to tell you, Lisa hired an agent, so you need to talk to Barbara out in Pennsylvania. Lisa's beyond my budget. So I said, well, Brenda, that's great. Jan is fantastic. I've heard Jan speak. And Brenda said, you know, that'd be great, except for one thing. Jan's taking vacation that week. So I'm still working. We're going to get an inspirational speaker on Friday noon to kick it off. We have Stephanie and Tom on Friday and Saturday. We've got the Kentucky Derby Saturday night. It's going to be a fun event, and there'll be good things to happen with it. So love to have you come out. It's right out of Coralville. And with that, I truly believe in attitude. If you believe you can do it, you can do it. If you believe in yourself that you can do it, you will do it. And so I think you got a good group of moving shakers here. So it's 1 o'clock. If there's any discussion, if anybody wants to share anything, I'd love to hear it. Otherwise, I don't want to hold you over. Andy, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Well, Norlan, as you know, every week we donate a book to the Children's Library at the Clinton Public Library in our speaker's name. So with your book, this is The Magic and Mystery of Trees.
All right.
Well, thank you, brother. Thanks for the work that you've been doing. And I want everyone to give a special round of applause for Cindy for all the work that she's been doing and having to hang out with Norlan every day.
We've been married 53 and a half years. We have spent more time together in the last year and a half than we did previously.
Well, thank you, everyone, today. Thank you to Rod for greeting. Thank you to Alethea for invocation. Thank you to Jennifer for fellowship. And thank you to Norlan for your program. And with that, unite for good. See everybody on Friday.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Nobody.
I'm gonna put it in the box.
Okay.
Can we do that? Sorry.
What? Yeah. Sorry for putting you on the spot. I gotta do those things you guys are talking about. All right, ready?
Let's get Norlan too. Would you be in the picture with this?